Have you ever wondered what the history is behind some of the most haunted locations on Earth? Well, you've come to the right place. From well-known locations to locations you've never heard of, we cover the haunting history behind the folklore. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I'm Jeremy with J&M Paranormal, and I'll be narrating the history behind these locations. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for supporting our journey. Before we get started, please consider subscribing. We are rapidly approaching 1,000 subscribers, our first of many goals for the channel. As well, you can now join us as a channel member. For only 99 cents per month, you will get early access to videos and announcements. You will have access to members-only live streams and so much more. Now, without further ado, let's get into the haunted history from locations around the world. The Golden North Hotel, located in Skagway, Alaska, is one of the oldest operating hotels and has a long and storied history that dates back to the Klondike Gold Rush era. Like many old buildings, it has had its share of ghost stories and paranormal tales. The most famous ghost story associated with the hotel is that of Mary, also known as Scary Mary by some. Legend has it that during the Klondike Gold Rush in the late 19th century, a young woman named Mary came to Skagway with her fiancé, a prospector. While her fiancé went to find gold, Mary stayed at the Golden North Hotel. Unfortunately, Mary's fiancé never returned. She waited in room 23, growing increasingly despondent. She died in the room, and many say it was of a broken heart. Guests have reported seeing the apparition of a young woman believed to be Mary in room 23. Others have felt cold spots, heard unexplained noises, or even seen her face appearing in the room's window. Aside from the tales of Mary, some visitors and staff have reported other strange occurrences throughout the hotel. These experiences range from unexplained footsteps, doors opening and closing by themselves, to feelings of being watched or even touched by an unseen presence. Some attribute these experiences to the many miners and prospectors who passed through the hotel during the gold rush, believing that some might have never truly left. It is essential to understand that the Klondike Gold Rush, which began in 1896 and drew thousands of people to the region, was a period of intense hardship, ambition, and sometimes tragedy. Skagway, being a primary port and gateway to the Yukon goldfields, saw a massive influx of hopeful prospectors, entrepreneurs, and opportunists. With such a colorful and tumultuous history, it's not surprising that stories and legends like those at the Golden North Hotel would emerge. These tales add an intriguing layer to the rich history of this historic Alaskan landmark. Dudley Town, often referred to as the Village of the Damned, is a long-abandoned settlement located in the town of Cornwall in northwest Connecticut. Over the years, it has gained a reputation as one of the most haunted places in Connecticut due to the various legends, tales of hauntings, and mysterious occurrences associated with it. The settlement was founded by the Dudley family in the 1740s. A legend holds that the Dudleys were under a curse since the 16th century. Thomas Dudley, the governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony, was supposedly cursed by another English nobleman, and this curse was believed to follow the Dudley lineage to Connecticut. Members of the family allegedly experienced many misfortunes, such as insanity, mysterious deaths, and other tragedies. Over time, Dudley Town's population dwindled due to a combination of factors like soil depletion, making farming difficult, and its remote location. The last residents left around the 1920s. The abandoned homes, overgrown by forests, further contributed to the eerie atmosphere. Visitors have reported strange occurrences like orbs of light, ghostly apparitions, and feelings of unease. Some claim to have heard unexplained noises like footsteps or distant voices, while others have felt an oppressive silence devoid of typical woodland sounds. The dense forest surrounding Dudley Town is often described as unusually silent and dark. This has given rise to the theory that the forest itself harbors malevolent energy. There are tales of people getting lost within minutes or experiencing time distortions. Over the years, there have been stories of hikers and visitors disappearing or meeting untimely deaths in the vicinity of Dudley Town. These tales further cement its haunted reputation. In the 20th and 21st centuries, the remnants of Dudley Town became privately owned, and the owners, along with the local authorities, have discouraged visitation, citing both the private property rights and safety concerns due to its rugged terrain. Some believe that these warnings only add to its allure and mystique. Dudley Town remains an intriguing part of Connecticut's folklore and history. Fort Delaware, situated on Pea Patch Island in the Delaware River, boasts a rich history that dates back to the early 19th century. Over the years, tales of ghostly encounters and unexplained phenomena have been intertwined with its historical narrative, making it a point of interest for history buffs and paranormal enthusiasts alike. Fort Delaware primarily served as a Union prison for captured Confederate soldiers during the American Civil War. Conditions in the prison were notoriously poor, with overcrowding, disease, and limited food. As a result, many prisoners perished under these conditions. Given the number of deaths on the island, it's no surprise that many believe restless spirits of the Confederate soldiers continue to roam the grounds. There are stories of unexplained footsteps, phantom voices, and apparitions of soldiers in ragged uniforms. Visitors and staff members have reported a variety of paranormal activities. This includes the sound of ghostly footsteps, moans, and voices. Some even claim to have seen apparitions of soldiers and other figures in period clothing. Cold spots, which are inexplicably colder than their surroundings, are frequently reported in various parts of the fort. Such phenomena are often linked to paranormal activity. One of the most famous ghost stories from Fort Delaware is that of a Confederate soldier who was allegedly decapitated in a tunnel under the fort. According to the tale, visitors and staff have seen his headless apparition wandering the tunnels and grounds, seemingly in search of his lost head. Due to the plethora of ghost stories and sightings, Fort Delaware has attracted numerous paranormal investigators over the years. Many of these investigations claim to have captured evidence of the supernatural, from EVP recordings to video footage of unusual shadowy figures. Television shows dedicated to ghost hunting have also visited the fort, further popularizing its haunted reputation. Recognizing the public's fascination with its spectral tales, the fort has in the past offered haunted tours. These tours dive into the stories of those who supposedly haunt the island and give the visitors a chance to experience the fort's eerie ambiance for themselves. The fort stands as a testament to the hardships of war, and whether or not ghosts truly inhabit its walls, the memories of those who suffered there remain a palpable part of its legacy. Bachelors Grove Cemetery, located in the Chicago suburb of Midlothian, Illinois, is considered one of the most haunted sites in the U.S. Its reputation has grown over the years due to numerous reported ghost sightings, mysterious phenomena, and chilling stories linked to the location. Bachelors Grove Cemetery dates back to the early 19th century, with the earliest burials believed to have occurred around the 1830s. Over the decades, the cemetery was the final resting place for many local settlers. However, over the years, the area was neglected and saw various instances of vandalism and desecration. Numerous visitors and paranormal investigators have reported seeing a phantom farmhouse shimmering in the distance, which seems to disappear as one gets closer. One of the most famous apparitions is that of the White Lady, or Madonna of Bachelors Grove. Many claim to have seen a female apparition dressed in a white gown, often seen holding a baby near the Fulton family plot. Some visitors have claimed to observe blue orbs or streaks of light moving through the cemetery, particularly at night. There have been reports suggesting that gravestones sometimes move on their own, shifting positions or disappearing altogether, only to reappear later. There are stories of a ghostly monk seen in the vicinity, believed to be connected to a nearby abandoned monastery. Along the nearby roadway, there have been sightings of phantom vehicles which seem to appear and disappear suddenly. In 1991, the Ghost Research Society captured one of the most famous ghost photos taken at Bachelors Grove. The photograph shows a transparent woman sitting on a tombstone, seemingly wearing an old-fashioned dress. The picture has been both scrutinized and celebrated by believers and skeptics alike. Apart from the numerous ghostly encounters, several factors have added to the eerie reputation of Bachelors Grove. Over the years, the cemetery was often targeted by vandals. Many gravestones were defaced, damaged, or stolen, which some believe might have stirred restless spirits. Due to its secluded location, Bachelors Grove has been a site for illegal activities over the years, ranging from dumping bodies tied to organized crime to occult practices. The pond near the cemetery is the subject of various urban legends, including tales of gangsters disposing of bodies there during the Prohibition era. Despite the numerous tales and legends, Bachelors Grove remains a quiet and somber location, with many visitors feeling a profound sense of peace rather than fear. The cemetery's haunted reputation has also led to it becoming a focal point for paranormal enthusiasts, researchers, and tourists alike. Whether one believes in the paranormal or not, the cemetery serves as a testament to the history of the region and the stories of its past inhabitants. The Whispers Estate in Mitchell, Indiana, is often cited as one of the most haunted places in the U.S., with many paranormal enthusiasts and investigators claiming to have experienced various supernatural phenomena there. The Queen Anne-style home was built in the late 1890s. Dr. John and Jessie Gibbons later purchased it, and it is during their residency that many of the home's tragic stories and ghostly legends take root. The most frequently told story is that of Rachel, a young girl believed to have been adopted by the Gibbons. She died in the house after starting a fire in the front parlor, suffering from severe burns. Visitors often report hearing her voice, witnessing balls moving on their own, or even feeling the sensation of being touched by small hands. The Gibbons are believed to have lost several infants in the home, leading to stories of baby cries being heard in the master bedroom. Dr. Gibbons, who used the residence as both a home and a place of practice, is said to have passed away in the home. Some attribute various paranormal activities, like the smell of phantom cigar smoke, to his lingering spirit. Apart from audible manifestations like footsteps, voices, and crying, there have also been reports of doors opening or closing on their own, cold spots, and strange odors. The house is said to be particularly active during the full moon. Due to its reputation, numerous paranormal investigators and mediums have visited the estate. Several seances have been conducted, and some claim to have made contact with the spirits of the house. The house has been opened up for ghost tours and overnight stays, attracting many who hope to encounter some form of paranormal activity. The Wood Island Lighthouse, located on a small island off the coast of Maine near the mouth of the Saco River, is one of the oldest lighthouses in the state, having been built in 1808. As with many old buildings, especially those that are isolated like this one, there have been tales and rumors of hauntings associated with it. The tragic event of 1896, one of the most often recounted tales, is that of a fisherman named Howard Hobbs, who in a drunken fit killed his landlord, Fred Milliken, in a nearby boathouse on the island. Consumed by guilt, Hobbs then took his own life. Since that time, there have been claims of hearing mysterious footsteps, doors opening and closing on their own accord, and other inexplicable noises. Over the years, various lighthouse keepers and their families have reported strange occurrences. Some have spoken about hearing disembodied voices, seeing apparitions, and experiencing cold spots in the lighthouse and the surrounding buildings. These experiences have often been attributed to the restless spirits of Hobbs and Milliken. In one chilling account, a winter caretaker mentioned seeing mysterious footprints in the fresh snow leading to and from the lighthouse. but found no one around. Given the island's isolation, especially in winter, such occurrences were hard to explain. Besides the lighthouse keepers, many visitors have claimed to experience unexplained phenomena, such as ghostly apparitions and sounds. Some believe that these could be the spirits of shipwreck victims, given that the lighthouse's main purpose was to guide ships safely and prevent shipwrecks. Regardless of one's belief in the supernatural, the stories and legends surrounding the Wood Island Lighthouse add a layer of mystique and allure to this historic site. Mackinac Island, located in Lake Huron between Michigan's upper and lower peninsulas, has a rich history that spans centuries, from Native American legends to European settlements. With its deep historical roots, it's no surprise that Mackinac Island has its share of ghostly legends and haunted tales. Before European settlers, Native American tribes had already considered the island to be a sacred place. Legends spoke of spirits that inhabited the island, particularly the area now known as Arch Rock. Fort Mackinac, constructed by the British during the American Revolution and later used in the War of 1812, the fort has seen its share of bloodshed. Reports of apparitions in military uniforms, unexplained sounds, and other paranormal activities have been documented. Some stories involve soldiers who died from illness or injuries sustained during battles. Mission Point Resort. Once a site for a religious college, the building was later transformed into a hotel. One of the most famous ghosts said to haunt this location is that of a student named Harvey, who reportedly died in the 1960s. Visitors and employees alike have reported strange happenings, including seeing a figure that matches Harvey's description. The Grand Hotel. This iconic hotel has its own share of ghost stories. With its long history dating back to the 1880s, there have been reports of apparitions, unexplained noises, and even a woman in Victorian clothing wandering the halls. The Theater in Mackinac. Built in the early 1900s, this place is said to be haunted by a former projectionist. There are accounts of projectors turning on by themselves and strange shadows that dart around. Given the sometimes treacherous waters surrounding the island, there have been numerous reports of shipwrecks and drownings over the years. Some claim to have heard the sounds of cries for help and splashing in the water even when no one is around. The Bogan Lane Inn. Situated in the heart of Mackinac Island, this historic inn is known for its ghostly resident, a little girl named Lucy. She's often seen playing in one of the rooms and running up and down the stairs. Some guests at the Stonecliff Inn have reported seeing the apparition of a young man who seems to be looking for something or someone. These are just a few examples of the many ghost stories and legends associated with Mackinac Island. The island's rich history, combined with its isolated location, provides fertile ground for tales of the supernatural. Whether one believes in the paranormal or not, these stories add another layer of allure to this unique and beautiful destination. First Avenue Club is an iconic music venue located in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Since its opening in 1970, it's hosted a wide array of artists and has become a landmark in the Minneapolis music scene. While it's better known for its musical history, including being a launch point for Prince, some claim it has a haunted history as well. Before it became a music venue, the building was a Greyhound bus depot. Over the years, there have been rumors and stories that the spirits from this era continue to linger. The vast space with its dark corners and echoing hallways certainly can give off an eerie vibe, especially when it's empty. There have been rumors about the deaths of employees in the past, which some believe might contribute to the paranormal activity. Over the years, staff, musicians, and even some patrons have reported seeing ghostly apparitions in various parts of the building, including the stage area, the green room, and restrooms. There are also reports of unexplained noises such as footsteps, whispers, and music notes, especially during the quiet hours of the night. Some people have mentioned encountering cold spots in various parts of the club, which are believed by many paranormal enthusiasts to be signs of ghostly presence. While not necessarily a haunting, many people feel a spiritual connection to the late musician Prince when they're at First Avenue. Given the significance of the venue in his career, this isn't surprising. Some claim to feel his presence or even have experiences that they attribute to the legendary artist's spirit. Regardless of one's beliefs in the supernatural, First Avenue remains an essential piece of Minneapolis's cultural and musical history. The King's Tavern, located in Natchez, Mississippi, is one of the oldest buildings in the city and is rich with history and legends of hauntings. The tavern was constructed in the 1760s and has been a central part of the area's history since then. With a history spanning over 2 centuries, it's no surprise that King's Tavern has collected its fair share of ghost stories. The tavern got its name from Richard King, an early owner. In the late 18th century, it served as a post office, an inn, and a tavern. Given its location and the times, it's likely that the tavern witnessed many altercations, deals gone wrong, and personal dramas. Such places, which are focal points for a community's activities, often generate legends and ghost stories. Perhaps the most famous ghostly resident of King's Tavern is Madeline, believed to be a young woman who had an affair with Richard King. According to local legend, Madeline was murdered by King's jealous wife. Her body was allegedly hidden within the tavern's walls. In the 1930s, during a renovation, workers reportedly found a skeleton, along with a jeweled dagger, behind a wall, which many believe to be Madeline's remains. Many have reported seeing Madeline's apparition around the tavern, particularly in the main dining room. Witnesses describe seeing a young woman with long, flowing hair. Some have also reported feelings of being watched, sudden cold spots, and unexplained noises. While Madeline's story is the most widely circulated, there are other spirits believed to be haunting the tavern. One such spirit is a baby, whose cries are sometimes heard. There have also been reports of a man in period clothing wandering the premises. A mirror at the tavern is believed to be haunted, with some claiming to see ghostly faces in it. This mirror, along with other antiques and artifacts, contributes to the ambiance and might carry energies or imprints from the past. The tavern's cellar, where liquor and other goods were stored, is another hotspot for paranormal activity. Some believe that the spirits of those who were killed or tortured there during these various periods of unrest still linger. The King's Tavern is not just a place with ghost stories. It's a testament to the turbulent times of the past and the tales that have been passed down from generation to generation. Whether one believes in ghosts or not, the tavern undoubtedly holds an important place in Natchez's history. Those who visit often find themselves captivated by the rich tapestry of tales woven around this historic establishment. Garnett Ghost Town, located in the Garnett mountain range of Montana, is a captivating relic of the Old West. Founded in the 1860s, Garnett is often hailed as one of the most well-preserved ghost towns in the United States. While it's primarily recognized for its rich mining history, many also associate the town with various haunting tales and legends. The town was established in the 1860s after gold was discovered in the area. Garnett thrived in the late 1890s with a population reaching over 1,000 at its peak. The town had hotels, saloons, stores, and even a school. As the quality and quantity of the gold declined, so did the population of Garnett. By 1912, many mines were closed and the town faced its first desertion. Though the population rebounded slightly during World War I due to an increase in demand for metals, it again dwindled after the war. By the 1940s, Garnett was all but abandoned. One of the most popular legends is about the town's saloon. It's said that you can still hear faint sounds of old-time piano music and muffled conversations reminiscent of the times when miners would gather to drink and socialize. The Garnett Hotel, now abandoned, is said to have some long-term guests. There are reports of apparitions appearing in old-fashioned clothing, the sounds of footsteps, and doors mysteriously creaking. One of the most told tales is of a woman in a white dress seen floating through town. Some believe she might have been a resident who passed away and has chosen to linger in Garnett. Some visitors claim to have heard the laughter or voices of children, especially near the area where the school once stood. Whether visited for its haunted reputation or its historical significance, Garnett Ghost Town serves as a fascinating window into the past, offering a glimpse into the lives of those who once sought their fortune in the American West. The legend of the Seven Sisters Road in Nebraska is a local ghost story, and like many such stories, its origins are a mix of genuine events, folklore, and subsequent embellishments. The legend, as the story goes, sometime in the late 1800s or early 1900s, a man got into a disagreement or had some issue with his family. In a fit of madness or rage, he took each of his 7 sisters out, one by one, and hanged them from individual trees that lined the road. The actual road, located near Nebraska City, is hilly. Some versions of the legend say that there is one hill for each sister, and as one drives or walks over each hill, they experience different paranormal activities or emotions corresponding to the fate of each sister. Today, locals and visitors claim to have experienced numerous paranormal events on the road. Some say they've heard cries and screams of the 7 sisters, while others claim to have seen apparitions or experienced sudden temperature drops. Car troubles, especially engines stalling or lights flickering, are also commonly reported. The feelings of unease, dread, or being watched are common among visitors. Local ghost stories and legends like the one associated with the Seven Sisters Road are a part of the cultural fabric of many communities. They offer a combination of historic lore, cautionary tales, and a touch of the supernatural that captures the imagination of both residents and visitors alike. The Goldfield Hotel, located in the near ghost town of Goldfield, Nevada, is steeped in both historical significance and tales of the paranormal. Built during the Gold Rush era, this once opulent hotel is now known as one of the most haunted places in the American West. The Goldfield Hotel was erected in 1908 during the Gold Rush boom in Goldfield. This boom brought in a wealth of miners and prospectors hoping to strike it rich. The hotel was a symbol of opulence and grandeur in its heyday, boasting modern amenities like telephones and electric lights. One of the most infamous ghosts of the Goldfield Hotel is a woman named Elizabeth. Legend has it that she was a prostitute who had an affair with George Wingfield, one of the primary financiers of the hotel. After she became pregnant, Wingfield supposedly locked her in a room of the hotel, either room 109 or the basement, depending on which version you hear. Elizabeth's spirit is said to still roam the hallways, searching for her child. Visitors often report hearing cries of a baby from the room she was allegedly trapped in. The man himself, George Wingfield, is also said to haunt the hotel. Some say he is overseeing operations, ensuring everything is running smoothly. Others claim he lingers out of guilt over Elizabeth. Cold spots, mysterious odors, and the feeling of being watched are often attributed to Wingfield's spirit. Some stories tell of the spirits of children playing in the hallways. The laughter and footsteps of children are often heard, even when no living children are present. Guests and paranormal investigators have reported seeing apparitions, shadows, and hearing ghostly footsteps in the hotel's lobby and on the main staircase. Many claim these spirits are the remnants of past guests and employees. The hotel's basement is a hot spot for paranormal activity. Some believe this is because of Elizabeth, while others attribute it to the various nefarious activities that might have occurred there, including possible illegal gambling or underground operations during the Prohibition era. Over the years, numerous paranormal investigators, including popular television shows, have visited the Goldfield Hotel. Many have reported capturing EVPs, witnessing apparitions, and experiencing unexplained phenomena. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the Goldfield Hotel undoubtedly offers a fascinating glimpse into the past and the legends that have come to define this once majestic establishment. The Mount Washington Hotel, now known as the Omni Mount Washington Resort, is located in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. Built in the early 20th century, it's one of the last surviving grand hotels in the White Mountains and has a storied history, complete with tales of hauntings and paranormal activity. One of the most famous ghost stories associated with the hotel is that of the princess. Caroline Foster, the wife of the hotel's original owner, Joseph Stickney, is said to still wander the halls. Guests and staff have reported seeing her ghost in room 314, where she lived during her last years, and other areas of the hotel. Some have seen an apparition of a woman in period clothing, and others have felt cold spots or unexplained breezes. The princess is said to be a benign spirit simply watching over the hotel. The hotel's builder and original owner, Joseph Stickney, passed away shortly after the hotel's completion. Some guests and employees believe his spirit remains. There have been claims of sightings or feelings of a presence, particularly in areas of the hotel where Stickney's portrait hangs. Guests have reported unexplained noises in the night, including footsteps in empty hallways, whispered voices, and the sounds of parties or gatherings coming from vacant rooms. Some stories suggest that the tower rooms of the hotel are especially haunted. Reports from these rooms include doors opening and closing on their own and the feeling of being watched. In some corridors, guests have reported hearing the laughter of children when there are none present. There are tales of childlike apparitions playing in the hallways, vanishing when approached. Aside from apparitions and noises, guests and staff have reported other phenomena, such as lights flickering, objects moving on their own, and sudden temperature drops in specific areas. The Mount Washington Hotel is a significant piece of New Hampshire's history, with tales that continue to captivate visitors from all over the world. Fort Abraham Lincoln is located near present-day Mandan, North Dakota. It holds significant importance in American history, especially due to its connection with Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer and the 7th Cavalry. They departed from this fort in 1876 for the Little Bighorn expedition, during which Custer and many of his men met their fate. The Custer House, a reconstruction of the original house in which George Armstrong Custer and his wife Libby lived, is one of the primary attractions of the fort. The house has been rebuilt to look as it would have during the Custer's residency. Over the years, there have been reports of ghostly sightings and paranormal activities associated with the Custer House and other locations in Fort Abraham Lincoln. Some visitors and staff have claimed to see figures dressed in period attire walking through the house or around the grounds, only to vanish upon closer inspection. Mysterious footsteps, whispers, and other unexplained noises have been heard in the Custer House, particularly when no one else is present. Certain areas of the house and surrounding grounds are said to be noticeably colder than others, with no logical explanation for the temperature difference. Objects inside the Custer House are said to move on their own, with reports of furniture or small items being shifted without any known cause. There have been claims that Libby Custer, George's wife, can sometimes be seen or felt within the house. Given her deep attachment and love for her husband and the home they shared, some believe her spirit remains connected to the place. Fort Abraham Lincoln and the Custer House are significant historical sites that offer visitors a glimpse into the critical period in U.S. history, haunted or not. The Skirvin Hotel, located in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, is one of the city's oldest and most iconic hotels. Since its opening in 1911, it has hosted countless celebrities, politicians, and athletes. Along with its rich history, the Skirvin Hotel has also been associated with a variety of ghostly tales and paranormal events, making it a point of interest for both historians and ghost hunters. The most famous ghost story associated with the Skirvin Hotel is the tale of Effie, a maid who allegedly had an affair with W.B. Skirvin, the original owner. According to the legend, when Effie became pregnant, She was locked in a room on the top floor of the hotel to prevent a scandal. Desperate and isolated, she reportedly jumped out of a window with her baby in her arms, leading to their tragic deaths. Hotel guests and staff have since reported hearing the cries of a baby, seeing the apparition of a woman, and experiencing unexplained cold spots. The hotel's haunted reputation has even extended to the NBA. Several basketball players have reported strange occurrences while staying at the Skirvin. For instance, players have mentioned hearing strange noises, feeling uneasy in their rooms, or even seeing apparitions. Some teams even consider staying at a different hotel to avoid any potential distractions or disturbances. There have been reports of the elevators operating on their own, stopping at the 10th floor without being directed to do so. Some guests claim they have seen the ghostly figure of a woman, believed to be Effie, while on this floor. Apart from the sounds of a crying baby, some guests have reported hearing disembodied voices, footsteps in empty hallways, and doors opening and closing by themselves. Some areas in the hotel are said to have sudden cold spots, and some guests have reported feeling unseen hands touching them or the sensation of being watched. The Skirvin Hotel remains a beloved and integral part of Oklahoma City's history. It was restored and renovated in the early 2000s and continues to operate today, blending its rich history with modern amenities. Whether you're interested in its architecture, historical significance, or the ghost stories, the Skirvin Hotel undoubtedly has a compelling story to tell. The Shanghai Tunnels, also known as the Portland Underground, are a series of underground passageways beneath the city of Portland, Oregon. These tunnels have a dark and murky history, often surrounded by tales of crime, abduction, and illegal activities. Their haunted reputation, embellished by numerous ghost stories, has made them a popular destination for those interested in the paranormal. Initially, the tunnels were built for legitimate purposes, primarily for moving goods from the ships docked along the Willamette River to the basements of establishments in the city, avoiding street traffic and streamlining the unloading process. Over time, however, they were allegedly used for far more sinister activities. The most infamous of these activities was Shanghaiing. The term refers to the act of kidnapping individuals and then forcibly making them crew members on ships. These victims, often drugged or intoxicated men, were said to be dropped through the trapdoors in bars or other establishments, then dragged through the tunnels to the waterfront, where they'd wake up aboard a ship miles away from home and forced into labor. Besides Shanghaiing, the tunnels have seen other illegal activities, including Prohibition-era smuggling and illegal gambling. Given this dark history, it's no surprise that tales of hauntings and paranormal activities are associated with the Shanghai Tunnels. Ghost hunters and enthusiasts often report hearing disembodied voices and footsteps, seeing apparitions, particularly of a woman in white, believed to be a former sex worker named Nina, who met an unfortunate end in the tunnels, feeling cold spots and experiencing sudden drops in temperature, and encountering orbs and unexplained shadows. Today, guided tours of the Shanghai Tunnels are available, offering visitors a chance to delve into Portland's dark history and, for the brave, a chance to encounter its reputed ghostly inhabitants. The Old Charleston Jail, located in Charleston, South Carolina, has a dark and storied past that many believe has left it haunted. The Old Charleston Jail dates back to 1802 and remained operational until 1939. It was constructed on a plot of land previously used for public executions. Over its 137 years of operation, it housed various types of inmates, including pirates, Civil War prisoners, and the country's first female serial killer. The jail was originally designed by Robert Mills, the same architect behind many notable buildings, such as the Washington Monument. After the Charleston earthquake of 1886, the building was renovated and it acquired its iconic castle-like appearance. One of the most famous inmates was Lavinia Fisher, who is often dubbed America's first female serial killer. Lavinia, along with her husband John, were reportedly involved in a series of gruesome murders. Legend has it that Lavinia wore a wedding dress to her hanging and placed a curse on Charleston before her death. Many claim to have seen the spirit of Lavinia Fisher, with some reporting sightings of a woman in a wedding dress wandering the hallways or staring out of the windows. Her presence is especially felt in her old cell, where some visitors have reported feeling a cold touch or hearing faint whispers. It is not uncommon for visitors and staff to report hearing sounds like chains dragging, doors slamming shut, and distant voices or screams, all with no discernible source. In addition to Lavinia, there are countless stories of other apparitions. People have claimed to see the spirits of former prisoners, guards, and even children. Some visitors have reported being touched, pushed, or even scratched by unseen forces. These incidents are more sporadic, but no less terrifying for those who experience them. The jail was located near a former workhouse for children, some of whom would have been imprisoned at the jail for various petty crimes. Visitors occasionally report hearing the laughter or crying of children, even though there are no children present. The Old Charleston Jail is now a popular tourist attraction, offering historical and ghost tours. Over the years, it has been featured in numerous TV shows, articles, and books that explore its haunted reputation. As with many historic sites with a dark past, whether the haunting tales are true or the result of imagination is up for debate. However, the eerie atmosphere and chilling tales undeniably make the Old Charleston Jail a captivating place to visit. The Bullock Hotel, located in Deadwood, South Dakota, has a storied history that intertwines with the American Old West, and like many historic sites, it is believed to be haunted by many. Deadwood, as a city, sprung to life in the late 19th century as a gold rush boomtown, and it's known for its colorful history, including notable historical figures like Wild Bill Hickok and Calamity Jane. Seth Bullock, who was the first sheriff of Deadwood, was a significant figure in the town's early law enforcement efforts, and he was known for his stern but fair approach to maintaining order. Seth Bullock and his business partner, Saul Starr, constructed the Bullock Hotel, which opened its doors in 1895. It originally served as a luxury hotel and was one of the most sophisticated establishments in the Wild West. Over the years, it has seen various transformations and renovations, but it remains a landmark in Deadwood. The most frequently reported apparition in the hotel is believed to be that of Seth Bullock himself. Guests and staff have reported seeing a tall figure resembling Bullock, often feeling a presence or a cold spot in certain areas of the hotel, especially near room 211. Some say that Bullock's spirit remains in the hotel to ensure that everything is in order, much like he did during his life. Many people have reported unexplained occurrences such as lights turning off and on, doors opening or closing on their own, and objects moving without apparent cause. Some guests have also claimed to hear ghostly footsteps or voices when no one is around. Apart from the spirit of Seth Bullock, guests have reported seeing other unidentified apparitions. These could be the spirits of individuals who had some connection to the hotel or the area during its tumultuous early years. Some paranormal enthusiasts who have visited the hotel with electronic equipment, like EVP devices, claim to have captured ghostly voices or experienced interference that can't easily be explained. If you're interested in haunted history, a visit to the Bullock Hotel can be quite an experience, whether you're a believer in the paranormal or just curious about the stories and history of the area. The Alamo, located in San Antonio, Texas, is one of the most iconic landmarks in the United States, famous for the pivotal battle that took place there in 1836 during the Texas Revolution. Due to its turbulent past, the Alamo has become the subject of numerous ghost stories and legends. The Alamo was originally built as the Mission San Antonio de Valero in the early 18th century. Over the years, it served various purposes, including as a mission, military outpost, and finally as a battleground during the Texas Revolution. In 1836, a group of Texas defenders, including the likes of James Bowie, William B. Travis, and Davy Crockett, held the fort against a much larger Mexican army led by General Santa Anna. After a 13-day siege, the Mexican forces overran the Alamo and nearly all of its defenders were killed. Many claim to have seen apparitions of the Alamo's fallen heroes. Some witnesses report seeing figures in period clothing, standing guard, or walking the grounds. One popular tale is of a sentry who is seen on the roof of the Alamo standing guard. In some versions of this story, the sentry challenges visitors, demanding to know their business before disappearing. There have been claims of sightings of a spectral monk, possibly dating back to the Alamo's days as a mission. The figure is said to wander the grounds, appearing as a shadowy silhouette. Some visitors and staff have reported hearing the distant sounds of cannon fire, muskets, and cries of battle, particularly during the early morning or late at night. Whispered conversations, the sound of prayers, and even screams have been reported, though no clear source is ever found. Historical sites, especially ones with tragic pasts like the Alamo, often become the center of ghostly legends as they provide fertile ground for the human imagination. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, the Alamo remains a place of reverence and remembrance. For many, the stories of hauntings are simply a testament to the intensity and significance of the events that took place there. Colonial Williamsburg in Virginia is often cited as one of America's most haunted places. As a living history museum, it recreates the setting of an 18th century colonial town, complete with costumed interpreters, restored and reconstructed buildings, workshops, and more. Given its deep historical roots and centuries of occupation, it's no surprise that there are numerous ghostly tales associated with the area. One of the oldest and most haunted homes in Williamsburg is the Peyton Randolph House. It has been the site of numerous ghostly sightings. Reports include seeing ghostly figures, feeling cold drafts, and even being touched or pushed by unseen hands. The deaths and tragedies that occurred in the house over the centuries contribute to its haunted reputation. The public gaol was the main jail in Williamsburg for many years. Notorious criminals, runaway slaves, and the mentally ill were imprisoned here. Visitors have reported hearing chains rattling, feeling sudden drops in temperature, and seeing apparitions. The Bruton Parish Church was established in 1674. This church has its own share of ghost stories. People have reported seeing spectral parishioners attending midnight services or hearing unexplained music and choir singing. The George Wythe House. George Wythe, a signer of the Declaration of Independence, lived there. It is said that the ghost of his granddaughter, Anne Skipworth, can sometimes be seen dancing in the gardens. The building served as the seat of the Virginia colonial government from 1705 to 1779. Ghostly apparitions, strange noises, and voices have been reported in the Capitol building. Some attribute the phenomena to a man who was sentenced to death and proclaimed his innocence right up to his hanging. Market Square Tavern is said to be haunted by the spirit of its former owner. Guests have reported strange occurrences like moving objects, ghostly figures, and more. Colonial Williamsburg is considered haunted for many reasons. Many buildings and streets in Colonial Williamsburg have stood for hundreds of years. With age comes a long history filled with the lives, deaths, hopes, and tragedies of countless individuals. Williamsburg played a significant role in major historical events, including the American Revolution and the Civil War. The emotional and physical traumas associated with these events might contribute to the paranormal activity. In colonial times, disease like smallpox, typhoid, and others claimed many lives. Additionally, accidents, crime, and warfare contributed to a high mortality rate, which could be a factor in the numerous ghost sightings. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, the tales of Colonial Williamsburg add an intriguing layer to its rich history. The Oxford Saloon in Snohomish, Washington, is one of the most storied and haunted locations in the state. The historic saloon has seen its fair share of colorful characters and events since its establishment in 1890, and its rich history has given birth to a number of ghostly tales. Originally built as a dry goods store, it later transitioned into a saloon. Over the years, it has served as a brothel, a place for illicit gambling, and more. With this kind of history, it's no surprise that some of the figures from its past seem to have lingered on in spirit. One of the most commonly reported ghostly residents is Henry, believed to be a former police officer or bouncer who was murdered in the saloon. He's often spotted on the stairwell where it's said he met his tragic end. There are reports of a ghostly woman believed to be either Kathleen or Madeline, supposedly a former madam or worker from the building's brothel days. Stories say she was murdered in one of the upstairs rooms, and her presence has been associated with cold spots, disembodied voices, and mysterious fragrances. Employees and patrons have reported various other paranormal experiences, such as apparitions in period clothing, objects moving on their own, footsteps when no one is there, and sudden temperature drops. Some have even claimed to feel someone touching them. The men's bathroom is an unexpected hotspot for ghostly activity. Visitors often report feeling unseen hands on their shoulders or hearing disembodied voices. The basement is another place known for eerie feelings and ghostly sightings. Some say it's because of a man who died there, possibly during a fight or other violent event. The Oxford Saloon has attracted paranormal investigators and enthusiasts from far and wide. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there's no denying the charm and rich history that the location brings to the town. If you are interested in the haunted history of the Pacific Northwest, the Oxford Saloon is certainly a must visit. Whether you come for the spirits or just the spirit of the place, it's a memorable stop with a rich tapestry of stories. The Irma Hotel, located in Cody, Wyoming, is a historic establishment with a rich past, closely connected to the town's founder, Colonel William F. Buffalo Bill Cody. Built in 1902, the Irma Hotel was named after Cody's daughter and was intended to be a premier destination for those visiting the American West. Given its long history, it's no surprise that it has accumulated its share of ghost stories and paranormal claims. Some guests and staff have claimed to see the apparition of Buffalo Bill himself within the hotel. Given how close the hotel was to his heart, it is said he might still roam its halls, watching over the establishment. There have been reports of a mysterious woman dressed in white walking the hallways of the Irma Hotel. Some believe she may have been a guest or an employee from the hotel's early years. Guests and employees alike have reported hearing unexplained noises such as footsteps, laughter, and even distant music. These phantom sounds often occur when there's no discernible source around. Reports include objects moving on their own, lights turning on and off without cause, and doors opening and closing by themselves. Some attribute these occurrences to the playful spirits that reside in the hotel. One of the hotel's cherished artifacts is a cherry wood bar gifted to Buffalo Bill by Queen Victoria. Above this bar is a large mirror, and some visitors have claimed to see unexplained figures or faces in the reflection that aren't present in the room. Some guests have reported feeling sudden cold spots in specific areas of the hotel, a phenomena often associated with ghostly presence. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the hotel's rich history and its place in American Western lore make it a fascinating destination. Iolani Palace, located in Honolulu, Hawaii, is the only official royal palace in the United States. Constructed in the late 19th century, it was the residence of the Hawaiian monarchy until the overthrow of the Queen in 1893. With such a rich history, it's not surprising that there are numerous legends and tales of supernatural occurrences associated with the palace. After the overthrow of the monarchy, the Queen was imprisoned in a small room in the palace for approximately 8 months. There have been claims that her spirit still lingers in this room. Visitors and staff have reported hearing the faint sound of her playing the piano or ukulele and even singing from that room. The Queen composed many songs during her lifetime. There have been accounts of lights turning on and off by themselves in the palace, especially in the evenings. While some argue that it's due to electrical issues, others believe it to be the work of spirits from the past. Over the years, several visitors and staff have reported hearing mysterious footsteps echoing in the halls, particularly when the palace is empty. There have also been reports of voices and the sound of rustling gowns. There are tales that the spirits of past Hawaiian monarchs, kings and queens, roam the palace grounds. Some claim to have seen apparitions of the king and queen during their visit. Many believe that some of the ancient artifacts and heirlooms within the palace possess mana, spirit power. As such, these artifacts could be a magnet for supernatural activity. Some visitors claim to have seen the ghostly apparitions of the royal guards on the palace grounds, still performing their duty even in the afterlife. The palace stands as a testament to Hawaii's rich cultural heritage and tumultuous past, and whether or not one believes in the supernatural, the historical significance of the site is undeniable. Union Station in Kansas City, Missouri, opened its doors in 1914 and quickly became an essential hub for the railway transportation in the Midwest. Over the years, the station has been a site for numerous events and incidents, some of which were quite tragic. One of the most notorious episodes is the Kansas City Massacre of 1933, a violent event that has contributed to the station's haunted reputation. On June 17, 1933, a confrontation between FBI agents, local police, and gangsters erupted in front of Union Station. The law enforcement officials were transporting a federal prisoner named Frank Jelly Nash back to prison. Nash was a notorious criminal, and the authorities were taking him from Arkansas to the U.S. Penitentiary in Leavenworth, Kansas. A gang led by Vernon Miller, and possibly including Charles Pretty Boy Floyd and Adam Ricketty, ambushed the lawmen in an attempt to free Nash. In the ensuing shootout, 4 law enforcement officers and Frank Nash were killed. The gangsters involved in the ambush managed to escape, igniting a nationwide manhunt that eventually led to the capture or killing of most of those involved. The event was so significant that it led to major changes in law enforcement techniques and policies, including armament upgrades for the FBI. The Kansas City Massacre left a lasting impression on the local community and contributed to Union Station's haunted lore. Over the years, visitors and employees have reported various paranormal activities, including hearing mysterious footsteps, unexplained voices, and strange noises. Some have even claimed to see apparitions and experience cold spots or unsettling sensations within the station. Despite its chilling past, Union Station today is a bustling location that serves not only as a railway terminal, but also as a cultural center. It is home to museums, restaurants, and event spaces, welcoming locals and tourists alike. However, the tales of haunting and the memories of the Kansas City Massacre still loom large, making the station a point of interest for those curious about both history and the paranormal. What an incredible journey through the haunted annals of history we've had today. From ghostly castles and long-forgotten battlefields to eerie hospitals and chilling asylums. It's hard not to get a shiver down your spine thinking about the stories and legends that have shaped these haunting places. If you've enjoyed exploring the darker corners of history, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps the channel a lot. And if you're new here or you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on future videos about haunted history, paranormal investigations, and all things spine-chilling. Do you have a haunted historical site you want us to cover in a future episode? Make sure to drop a comment below, and who knows, we might just feature your suggestion in an upcoming video. As always, a huge thanks to all of our supporters for making videos like this possible. If you want to get exclusive behind-the-scenes content and other perks, consider becoming a channel member. Thanks for being part of this ghostly journey, and remember, sometimes the most haunting stories are the ones buried deep within the pages of history. Until next time, stay curious.